Live from the Infowars.com studios, you're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Dr. Corsi is our guest in studio. Dr. Jerome Corsi, I'm Alex Jones, your host. I've been ranting here. I want to give him the floor on this short segment. We're going to come back and lay out more with the Capitol shooting. Outside the Capitol of the Republican baseball game, Rand Paul was almost hit. Another congressman was. 4 others were shot as well. The gunman was killed. Dr. Corsi, during the break, you were saying you've been warning of this for over 15 years. Now we're here. The Democrats openly want a violent revolution.
Well, and I've been writing about this, going back to 2004, trying to warn people that this was really a revolution, that this is really the far, hard left now in complete deciding that they can take over. They were desperately disappointed they didn't win with Hillary. They had their agenda all planned. They were going to go into the Paris Climate Accord. They were going to expand the relationships with the EU. We're going to open our borders, all the things that Trump was opposed to, and now they're just desperate. The point is, Donald Trump has got to understand, the presidency's got to understand that this is a war, and he's got to get control of the administration. Got to fire people who were there from holdovers.
And he's not going to make them happy giving them a new liberal health care bill with a bunch of free stuff like he's trying. They don't care. The minions of this just want to burn America.
And secondly, I mean, this is the whole core of this, where the Democrats are, is now truly hate America and destroy America. This is don't make any mistake, the Democrats have become a communist party. They're trying to foment a revolution. That's what this obstruct is about. And President Trump's got to get a hold, even in the White House, of the message. Every time you've got the mainstream media and these press briefings in the front row acting up, they're setting the agenda. The New York Times, Washington Post, they're setting the agenda. They want to make it a gotcha question about Attorney General Sessions that now is the next news cycle. Donald Trump's got to get a hold of that. We've got to say, okay, General Flynn's pardoned. There's no reason for a special prosecutor. I'm in control of the Department of Justice and the FBI. Anybody who makes threats against the president, threats of violence, is going to get investigated and prosecuted. We're going to expand the Secret Service. We're going to expand the FBI and get all of the Democrats out of the FBI. Why wasn't Hillary investigated for the Clinton Foundation? Why wasn't, what happened ever with, Weiner's computer and all the emails?
All the pedophilia.
All these pedophilia, all the rampant corruption, Solyndra. All the things the Democrats did, no prosecution, because they've had their fixers, Lynch, Comey, Holder. These are the people who were the criminals.
And now here come these rats out of the sewer claiming Trump's done something, and they have the hearings, and he's literally had done nothing.
Well, the whole point is they're going to blame Trump no matter what. Everything that happens is going to be Trump's problem. The whole idea of the left is constantly to obstruct. They're not wanting to run the country. They don't want to do anything positive. They just want to destroy Donald Trump. And if they can't get him impeached, then the next thing, and I've been saying this, will be to assassinate him. This is the most frightening period of time, I think, since JFK was alive. And all the efforts to warn JFK, he didn't listen. Donald Trump has got to listen. This is serious. These people do not intend to lose. It's a coup d'etat, deep state coup d'etat, and he's got to clean out the CIA. He's got to basically start at ground zero, reduce the size of the federal government by a half, and get rid of all the people who are there who are not loyal to the administration.
Now, when we come back, I want to ask you the question. I'm going to open the phones up, Dr. Corsi. I get that's the smart thing to do. There's a total mutiny in the government. They're just ignoring him. What does he do then if they start killing more people on the street, killing more Trump supporters? The media keeps celebrating it. By the way, I was looking earlier, we need to do a story on this. There are people online on Twitter celebrating the congressman being shot, saying too bad he didn't die. So we're going to get that out on Infowars.com coming up as well. The toll-free number to join us, I'll give it to you when we come back on the other side of this quick break. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. We're doing everything they can to shut it down for a reason, because we're fighting for America and we tell the truth. And now, confirmed, gunman was an anti-Trump leftist who said it was time to destroy Trump and co. That's all up on Infowars.com. And guess what's on Twitter? It's all over Twitter. I saw it this morning. Drudge Report is linked to it. We can put it up on screen. I can read you some of these tweets. Twitter is just on fire. Left-wing Twitter users called out for celebrating GOP baseball shooting. Imagine with Gabby Giffords if Republicans had celebrated that, even though he was a hallucinogen drug addict that did it, who was a Democrat. Doesn't matter. Just imagine we still got blamed for it. But imagine they celebrate, they push for it, it happens, they celebrate again because this is what they want. They're either rich Hollywood scum, in their own words, in their own little fantasy land, or they're people living on welfare that are all into being victims. Think about that. Think about it. It's all these betas that have this dream of war. The toll-free number to join us is 877-789-2539, 877-789-2539. Dr. Jerome Corsi is our guest. Doc, you've been saying it. The plan is civil war this summer. The Democrats have doubled their funding for it. They're organizing it everywhere. Pelosi thinks George W. Bush is still in office. Doesn't know what planet she's on. Maxine Waters is as well. But people should worry about this because, I mean, this could get out of hand very, very quickly. What do you think's about to happen? Well,
first of all, as soon as we really understand where the left is, where now the Democrats are, Tom Perez, who's La Raza, Marxist, heading the Democratic Party. This is the Democratic Party that's a socialist Maoist party. They intend violence. They hate America. They do not accept the presidency of Donald Trump as legitimate, which is a key thing. In our republic, constitutional republic, in every election, the other side accepts the loss if they lose. But this time, the Democrats have tried to legitimate with this Russian meme, which has no evidence. It's got to be put to an end. What's going to happen? More violence. Because these people have lost their minds. These people are all really stooges of a Marxist movement to destroy America. So expect more shootings of this nature. Donald Trump has got to dramatically increase his security. Congress, GOP and Congress dramatically increase its security. Anyone, including like us, speaking out, trying to defend America, are going to have to be concerned about security. We're going to have race riots. We're going to see violence throughout the summer. We're going to see a continual uptick. And if it gets celebrated on Twitter and other social media, we've got to have the Department of Justice out there finding these people and prosecuting them. These are crimes. You can't advocate violence. That's not free speech.
Well, how dare Trump bring hundreds of billions of new jobs into America? How dare Trump boost the stock market $3+ trillion? How dare him start to secure the border? I mean, these people, all we're trying to do is bring back prosperity, but they want to make it like Venezuela or North Korea. It is just all the MSM's doing, whipping frenzy, Dr. Corsi. It's so sad.
Well, it's all the socialist communists. Look at the agenda that they want to support. They want to support free everything. They want to support diversity. Which this guy that that just went and shot all these people at the baseball game, he was a Bernie supporter. He doesn't want us to own guns, but he'll use the Second Amendment against us. And let's get into this dichotomy. None Dare Call a Conspiracy, written back in the 70s, breaks down how the Rockefeller Foundation and others funded the major communist movements, how they worked with Russia when the communists ran it, and China after they took over there, with one-sided deals. That's why Obama went to Latin America last year and said, communism's actually good, and then it works with multinationals. So communism and free market go together. But he means you're in a communist country, and then offshore free market groups exploit you. It's total slavery. So the elite, just as they wrote None Dare Call a Conspiracy from the documents, they're promoting communism and socialism because it domesticates people, it dumbs them down, it ends the middle class. Then the elites sit offshore outside of the communist or socialist system they bring in. This is really just feudalism. Can you explain that paradigm? Well, it's very simple. The whole idea of the communists are that, basically it's a lie. This whole idea we're all going to be equal, everything's going to be distributed, everything's going to be free. It's the capitalists who are stealing from you. It's always produced mass murder and mass poverty.
Yes, but why do the ultra-rich then keep funding it?
Because they're essentially globalists, and I understand that if there is a communist state or there's a globalist state, they're going to be the elite at the top. That's their whole plan. I mean, you don't think Hillary Clinton is living, in a project somewhere.
She's worth billions.
And you don't think any of these globalists, the actors...
And let's expand on that. You go out to one of these communist marches that are now like roaches running around, and there's so many of them, and they literally, black, white, Hispanic, I don't care, look like they've been lobotomized, look like film footage I've seen on PBS of mental wards. or state hospitals. I mean, everybody's seen it for themselves, drooling, eyes pointing different directions, screaming cuss words, throwing fits, urinating on themselves, throwing pee on people. I mean, they act like lobotomized mental patients. What is going on?
Well, you got to understand, look at how close, if you look at Hillary, if you look at how close they thought they were. They had a Paris Climate Accord, which was going to be a massive carbon tax. They were shutting down the coal industry. They were reducing America's ability to produce energy. Then we had the UN on the rise, and we had the EU on the rise. Roll back Brexit. We're going to open our borders. We're going to be flooded with these refugees coming in from Islamic countries.
And the new numbers are in. They're talking about a 250% increase in refugees to Europe now, above the 6 million that came in the last 4 years, 80% military-aged men. And they're planning that here, and then major Muslim leaders come here and bring in and import the refugees to your town.
And Hillary and Obama felt like they had it, they could touch it. They could feel it. They knew it was right here. They were on the edge of it. As they had won, they were going to immediately throw out all the laws. They were immediately going to put into high gear, and First Amendment was going to be gone, Second Amendment was going to be gone, and they were in control. We'd be globalist within 4 years. That was the plan, and there's desperately, insanely, can't figure out how they lost.
They are continuing her entire policy, her entire plan, as if Trump isn't even president.
And they're obstructing. They do not want Obama. Obama hates the idea that we'd make America great again. They're confident that they can destroy
Because
America.
the globalists have to pick and choose winners, and their whole global order will go down because people will want the American system. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back and take your phone calls. And then Dr. Corsi is going to leave us in about 10, 15 minutes, and we're going to have another guest pop in who's running for Congress to give his take on this. He's also a well-known actor. And then we are going to continue with other guests coming up, former Navy SEALs, terrorism experts, and more. But Dr. Corsi's been a terrorism expert for the State Department as well, and he can speak to that coming up. But briefly, ladies and gentlemen, you see the last 3 days, InfoWars being the #1 story in the country. It was bigger than Sessions yesterday, saying lies about me, misrepresenting what I've said, what I believe in, saying I should be banned from the radio, that dictators can be interviewed, but I can't. And then Megyn Kelly putting out, scrambled, edited versions of what I really said. They're desperate. That's not a sign of strength. That's a sign that little old InfoWars is hurting them. That's because we're not little. Tens of millions of people tune in every day to one format or another of this show. 40+ million a week and growing. And the talking points we talk about of basic Americana are the new talking points of talk radio and everybody else. That's why they're so scared of InfoWars. They know we're a central fountain, the progenitor of so much of what you're seeing, because I just went and studied Americana, geopolitical systems, communism, fascism, and how to counter it with Americana, with free market, with Gutenberg, Genesis level, Renaissance. I'm simply bringing back what was already there. I didn't invent any of this. But the vampires know what it is. They're scared of it. We need your prayers now more than ever, and we need your financial support. InfoWarsStore.com. It is a patriotic duty against the globalists. We have great products, high-quality supplements, a lot of big discounts. Oh, I forgot. I decided to launch until the end of the month free store-wide shipping. And you sign up for auto ship, you get an additional 10% off. Emmerich's Essentials, the shampoo, and some of the other products, those are 25% off. But whatever you do, go support the broadcast. Total Oral Care Pack is 33% off. That's with the 10-to-1 mouthwash organic with the Super Blue toothpaste. So the fluoride-free toothpaste special ended, but now you can still get it discounted with the combo pack with the mouthwash. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. We're not funded by George Soros or tax money like NBC. We are funded by you and your support. If you support us, we win, you win. If you don't, one of the main attack forces against the globalists goes down. That's right, interrupted myself. Elisa, Chris, Ryan, Chris, Jim, John, Antonio, Dave, and Chile, and many others. Your phone calls are coming up. In fact, right now, coming up, I have Antonio Sabato, Jr., who's running for Congress, who was planned to be on the whole hour, but obviously this attack happened, so we're going to get him to pop in and give us his views on things, then come back on next week for a full hour if he can do it. Then we have William Binney of the NSA, former technical director, to expose all this deep state spying against the president and what he would do to stop it. The new film, A Good American, is now out on DVD. Newsweek called it stunning and deeply disturbing. So the technical director of the film Snowden, William Benny, will be joining us coming up. We'll also continue with your phone calls. What you're witnessing is the Democrats, deep state globalists that have overthrown countless other countries, preparing a violent, bullying civil war. You saw a terror attack coordinated not by ISIS, but by CNN, MSNBC, the Democratic Party, and people that have been calling for violence and putting out the messages through plays and op-eds and articles saying, kill the president, kill his supporters, paying them during the campaign to go out and attack people. This is organized crime. Imagine if the Italian mafia had TV shows everywhere saying, go out and attack a certain group of people. They'd all be arrested for organized crime. Or imagine if, Muslims were doing it. Well, I guess they'd be allowed to do it because Muslims are above the law and they're allowed to organize attacks. Imagine if Christians were going out and, say, kill people. They would all be arrested. But because it's Muslims and liberals, they're allowed to do it. Dr. Corsi?
Well, and also, everybody's got to realize how sophisticated this is. You've got really professional techniques here of propaganda. It starts out with lies. It starts out with a Russian meme that Hillary made up in order to explain why she lost. And then Trump's a racist, and Trump's a Nazi, and his supporters are. So first we're dehumanized, then they say kill us, and then the killing starts. And the messages are being sent out by MSNBC Daily and CNN, which is the hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. Demonize, he's going to do this to you. He's going to take this away. You never thought he was going to be elected. He isn't legitimate. These messages resonate, and they get then with a veneer of violence. Let's eliminate. Let's kill. Let's damage. Let's destroy. Let's obstruct. This whole thing is a Democratic, far-left, Marxist propaganda campaign, and it's going to have to trace back into the CIA. Got to remember the CIA that's packed with John Brennan, people who are anti-America, basically fundamentally wanting the Democrats' agenda, and that's throughout the administration, and including in the White House.
That's right. Let's go to calls. Dr. Corsi's our guest. I'm Alex Jones. Infowars.com is the site they fear. Spread it today. If you're a new listener, find out why they hate us so much, because we're just common sense. Let's go to Alyssa in Oregon. Alyssa in Oregon, you're on the air.
I call.
You bet.
This is an absolute war. You and Corsi hit the nail on the head. And I tweeted at the president this morning that he needs to go on the full offensive now, because they're out for blood now. This is not just little fools on Twitter harassing him anymore. This is a full-on offensive against us, and it was I don't think there was an accident that this happened on Donald Trump's birthday. They are sending a message to us.
That's right.
Oh, they sent a message.
Nobody has pointed this out yet.
That's right.
I think there's more to this story. And
Trump's 71 today.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's got to pay attention. I tell him as seriously as we try to tell Jack Kennedy. These people are deadly serious and they're going to kill you. And he's got to understand that, because this is a coup d'etat.
And they're saying kill his family. And let me throw this in. That's why I love taking callers. Stay there, man. I want you to finish. They bring up stuff that I didn't think of. That's right. June 14th, 1946. Holy mackerel. That adds a lot of evidence that this was concerted. We know the media hyped it up. They've said kill his family, kill Melania, kill all of them. He's got so much courage. 71, our oldest president ever elected. Think about that. That doesn't look like it. Donald John Trump, I mean, you just can't help but love his courage, how much he's already delivered on. I just can't believe it. But, there's not just evil in this world. We got to tweet that out right now. This was a birthday message from the leftists. Leftists, attack Republicans, leftist terrorist, shoots up a bunch of Republicans and cops on Donald Trump's birthday. As I said, the declaration of the bloody Civil War. And the problem is, if they kick it off, fighting back against these people is like, it's pointless. They're such scum. It's pathetic. There's no reason for this. There's no honor. They're a bunch of useful idiots. Alyssa?
Yeah, and I tweeted a big long thread to the president. My account is @NotDoneWinning, Wiretap Christina, and they locked me out of my Twitter account. This is a full-on war.
Oh, yeah, the censorship has really intensified where common sense stuff isn't getting out there. They're trying to start a civil war, folks. We got to get the word out. It's an info war. We'll be back with more of your calls, special guests. Stay with us.
As you all know, shortly after 7 a.m. this morning, a gunman opened fire on members of Congress and their staffs as they were practicing for tomorrow's annual charity baseball game. Authorities are continuing to investigate the crime, and the assailant has now died from his injuries. The FBI is leading the investigation and will continue to provide updates as new information becomes available. Congressman Steve Scalise, a member of House leadership, was shot and badly wounded and is now in stable condition at the hospital, along with two very courageous Capitol police officers. At least two others were also wounded. Many lives would have been lost if not for the heroic actions of the two Capitol police officers who took down the gunman despite sustaining gunshot wounds during a very, very brutal assault. Melania and I are grateful for their heroism and praying for the swift recovery of all victims. Congressman Scalise is a friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do know that's true. I know they're friends. They've talked about it. I am so blown away right now. I can hardly not even do the show. I don't mean to interrupt the president with that statement that just came out live. I have to interrupt him. They're in there pulling it off. Because we've got TVs with DVRs, obviously in live time, recording major news channels, fake news channels like CNN. I just saw it, and David Knight saw it too, one of our reporters, and they're in there pulling it right now. David Knight just tweeted, at Libertarian, that's his Twitter handle, CNN just aired Man on the Street where one said, I just want people to know he wasn't evil, just tired of politics. And I saw the clip. Wolf Blitzer and them say nothing and seem to agree. And you know CNN's famous for interviewing camera people, producers, and fakes. They just got caught recently doing it again. So does MSNBC. It looked totally staged. We're getting the video right now where he's like, he wasn't an evil man. He was just tired of these policies is what I heard. And CNN cuts back. I mean, CNN, ladies and gentlemen, is so disgusting. So I'm going to have our guest pop in that wasn't me on for a full hour, but obviously because of breaking news, he isn't. I want to invite him back up in the next week because we have this initiative here of trying to get these great people that are running for Congress or running for governor or running for legislature on the show at least a few times a week to continue the American Revolution, to try to restore the Republic. Antonio Sabato, Jr., obviously nobody really needs me to give you an introduction to him. He's one of the hottest commodities to come on daytime television, top TV shows, movies, you name it. He's a Calvin Klein model. I'm not going to go over it all. But what really matters is he's running for Congress. He's a patriot. And to do that when you're big in Hollywood and a major celebrity and A-list TV, movies, you name it, to do that is basically like taking cyanide for your career. I mean, it takes a lot of courage. Conservatives and libertarians have to meet in secret to even, talk about ideas. He was also blacklisted in Hollywood for speaking out and endorsing Trump. So he's a real hero. So he's with us for the rest of the hour. And then I really want to invite him up for a full hour because he's such an interesting and well-spoken person. Also, you can voteantonio.com. On May 8, 2017, Sabato filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission announcing plans to run for the 26th District Congressional seat in California as a Republican against incumbent Democrat Julia Brownlee. And I'm going to tell you, if he isn't presidential material, great career, smart guy, patriot, will buck the system, I don't know who is. So we need to get him into Congress, first things first. Facebook.com/Antonio Sabato Jr. live. But what a country where the Democrats are everywhere saying, kill Trump, kill his family, kill his supporters. Jimmy Fallon didn't criticize Trump enough, so they want him fired. And he comes out and grovels and says, okay, I hate him, please don't fire me. I mean, what a group of bullies. And I love what Kurt Russell said. He said, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I just like free market in America, and why can't I do that and not get blacklisted? I guess he's so big, they've had trouble blacklisting him, but, you know, they're still trying. So is this America or isn't it? Antonio Sabato, Jr., so good to have you on with us.
Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here with you, man. It's living tough times. Mr. Scalise, I want to give send my prayers to him and his family and everybody who was affected today. Our law enforcement, what a great job they did to intervene at such an incredible time. You know, they were ready to practice this morning, play softball, enjoy their day, and then the entire day was ruined because of this individual. We live in crazy times, Alex, and we need to stand up for our country, for the freedom of our country, and it's a disgrace what's going on in the media, how they publicize this, how they publicize any of these events. They make it about lies, and they continue to do that. You know, basically that's why I'm running for Congress, because I want to make a difference. I want to make a change, and I'm going to fight for what is right, because I love this country so much, Alex.
What's wild for me is Gabby Giffords gets shot by a guy that was a drug head and registered Democrat, and they blame conservatives and libertarians and gun owners for years. But they're not even apologizing on CNN or all these other channels that called for Trump's death. All these people that push violence said he should die in the newspapers. We've all seen it, the plays, the movies, everywhere. And now we're getting the clip. We should have it soon. They have a man on the street, looks totally staged, saying this man wasn't evil. He was just tired of the policies. And so they're even, and then no one said, no, that's a terrible view or that's crazy. They're actually trying to push the idea that killing people is okay. I mean, these people are so whacked out.
Yeah, they are whacked out, Alex, and they're completely out of their minds. And to support this and always blame guns and guns. Guns don't shoot themselves. People have to pull the trigger. You know, I am for the Second Amendment. I'm a CCW holder. I work with law enforcement. I go to the shooting range. I've done my testing. I've done it. This is not about guns. This is about people being pulled left and right and pushed to do these kinds of things, because violence is being on media, on social media, on CNN, like you were saying, on a daily basis. They're not reporting the truth. They're reporting lies. And it's hypocrisy to the max level. I mean, this is communism. This is socialism. This is all the things that I hate personally. We need to stand up for this. This is wrong, and the American people know what's better. I mean, that's why we voted for our President Trump to be elected. Is because we wanted a man. I mean, look at this man. This man. By the way, happy birthday, Mr. President. It's your birthday. It's kind of sad that on your birthday these kinds of things are happening. But this man left $11 billion. He left his fame to be ridiculed on a daily basis because he loves this country. We finally have a president who's standing up for the American people, who's fighting for what is right. And this is crazy what we're seeing on a daily basis. Now,
well, let's talk about your courage. I mean, you're not stupid. You're a smart guy. Top TV host, huge movies, A-list, making tons of money. What did you see in America that made you, being big in Hollywood, obviously knowing that this would, like James Woods said, basically end his top career? What made you do that to come out and support Trump?
Well, in the last 8 years, 10 years actually, what I've seen from our last president is something that I didn't agree with. And I mean, we can't say that about our president now because he just started. Maybe 8 years down the line, we could look back and go, okay, this is what it should have been done, or maybe the president should have done this better. But in the last 10 years, I guess it's common sense. That the lack of enthusiasm for this country, the lack of enthusiasm for our law enforcement, for our military, for our veterans, what I've seen in the last, not the last president. And I just wanted to step up and express my opinion about it. And I was so proud of finally having a candidate who I believed was going to win, and he did win, who loved this country more than his own career and everything else. And I respected that. And so I stood up.
And so you did the exact same thing he did. Let's talk about what happened to you. And again, people will think, oh, this intimidates folks. No, it's the opposite. We all need to do what Antonio Sabato Jr. and Donald Trump did. And now Trump $3 trillion in the stock market, hundreds of billions in new jobs, ISIS being crushed, just all this great stuff happening, killing TPP that was unelected in secret, pulling out of the Paris climate deal that was only on Europe and the U.S.
Those are great things, Alex. Those are really good things, and people don't want to talk about that. They're so against this president. And I tell you, the reason why they're so against him is because they fear him, because they can't control this man. And because they can't control him, they can't give him money, they're gonna continue to do this and ridicule this man on a daily basis and spread lies. Now, I spoke for him, I spoke about him, and I supported him, and I felt that, you know, after this, I just spoke my mind. We have the right to do that in this country. But after that, Hollywood has completely just put me on the sideline. I lost many jobs. People have been so cruel, and the nasty that I've seen on social media toward me, without even knowing me, because I supported this president, has been incredible. I've never seen anything like this. It's just pure evil.
But you're not giving up. You're running for Congress. And I got to say, I've seen you in movies. I've seen you in interviews. I always like you. I've seen you in television. And I've always thought, man, that guy's really cool. You're going to make a great congressman. And I think you could end up being president down the road. That'll really show these people. And no, seriously, so what do we do to get you into Congress?
Well, you have to go to voteantonio.com, Alex. Running for anything in the political world, you need to raise money. As soon as I'm able to raise as much money as possible, I have a shot at this. And so the next, I would say, 6 to 8 months is about raising money. So go to voteantonio.com and, give $1, give 50 cents, give $10.
Oh, the middle class and the people better give a lot more than that. We're in a war. It's time people to get serious.
Yeah.
People need to give $2,000. What's the max they can give? $2,000 apiece?
Yeah, I think it's $2,700 is the max. But like I said, I appreciate anything that you can do. The more, the better.
Well, I'm giving $2,700. I'm giving $2,700 today. Right now during the break, I'm going to give my credit card to one of the crew. Fill out the form. Do it. Because we're in a war, folks. And people that have courage, like Antonio Sabato, Jr., think about it. Making millions of dollars a year, top TV host, in big movies, knowing they'd come after him, knowing they'd try to shut him down. It takes a lot of courage. I could care less about Hollywood stars if they don't have courage. Then they're just actors. But this guy is on the front lines, literally at a critical time for this country and the world, putting it where his money where his mouth is. That right there is the bona fides for me to back this guy for Congress. And all of you should donate right now. Again, folks, you need to go to the website, voteantonio.com. How else can they support you if somebody doesn't even have $10? Obviously they got a family out in California. Call in to talk radio. Call in to C-SPAN.
Social media, Alex. I think just spreading the word. Go to my Twitter account, Antonio Sabato Jr., and just spread the word about going to voteantonio.com. Like I said, this is about just spreading the word. We have 18 months that are going to go really fast. We need to get inside this seat because, California, as you know, we're short on Republican congressmen and congresswomen. So one district at a time. And, I want to fight for the veterans. I want to fight for our Second Amendment. I want to fight for illegal immigrations. We spend $100 billion, almost $100 billion on illegal immigrations. But $10 billion would be to build this wall, and so I think that I want to fight for this thing. I want to fight for this country. I love this nation. It's given me so much, and I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not afraid of these guys. I'm not afraid of them. So just so you know out there, whoever's watching this, I'm here to fight for the American people.
Well, it's a war, and when we get somebody as good as you running for Congress that I think has such great prospects compared to the mummy that you're running against, I think if people get behind you, you're going to win. But regardless, you're going to be in those debates. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be injecting real ideas and not laying down, after they've tried to destroy you. This is so exciting. VoteAntonio.com. Now, let's go ahead and play for TV viewers and radio listeners. This is just what I saw during a break. Okay, we just grabbed it off the DVR of CNN, who's famous for interviewing fake people, claiming they're man on the street. But even if it was a real person, then the general public thinks, oh, this person wasn't evil. He was just tired of the policies or politics. But again, if a conservative had gone and shot Democrats, it would be the end of the world. It shows how warped they've hyped themselves into this Nazi-like, I don't know what you call it, communist-like, cult-like fervor. Here's the shocking clip.
Stand by, Art. We're just getting some tape in of an acquaintance of James Hodgkinson, the 66-year-old shooter, describing some of his political, perhaps, motivations. Listen to this.
I just want to let people know that he wasn't evil, that he was, I guess, tired of some of the politics that are going on.
That's what we just heard. Perhaps he wasn't evil, just tired of the politics that's going on.
Antonio?
I have no words to say about things like this. I mean, people have no guts and glory anymore to stand up for what is right, to stand up for what is right and truthful and honest. This guy was pure evil. Who plans to get out of their home with a loaded machine gun, probably a semi-automatic rifle?
That he wants to ban for us.
And he loads magazines on purpose to kill and to traumatize and to destroy people's lives. And so we need to talk about that. This man was pure evil, and he was terrorizing people, and he did, and he succeeded. But now we got to stand up for that. And CNN, how can you actually say things like this and support this? I don't believe it. I just can't.
Exactly. Again, Antonio Sabato, Jr. is our guest. VoteAntonio.com, running for Congress there in California. A lot of courage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not calling for this, but I want to be clear. If someone walks up to Wolf Blitzer when he is doing a live event on the street and shoots a bunch of bullets into him and wounds him or kills him or paralyzes him, do we then go, well, it wasn't evil, it was just a political statement? I mean, don't these Democrats get they're taking the restraint of patriots and Christians and libertarians and constitutionalists and conservatives as weakness? It's not. We've got the military, the police, everybody else. If they really start a war with us, I mean, they're opening the door saying it's okay to kill people. That's basically what Wolf Blitzer did not qualify that and say, well, obviously, we don't agree with that here. I mean, if I had somebody on like that who they sought out and I had them say that and I didn't say I don't agree with that, I would be crucified. You would be crucified. Trump would be crucified. What is wrong with these people?
I don't know, Alex. I really don't understand it. That's what we need to stick together. We need to spread kindness and love. But we also have to have common sense, and something is wrong, and it really, really wrong. We have to stand up for that. And the liberal media, they need to change this, because they're doing something just as bad as these people, because they're promoting it and they're not going against it. They're not standing up for what is right. How do they sleep at night? I have no idea. They get paid to report the news, not to stand and political, and take stands. Because every single day I watch this, and I tend to watch because I want to see what the other side is doing, like CNN, and they're reporting everything. Everything they reported on our president is against him.
It's all upside down. It's all lies. It's incredible. I mean, Comey falls on his face. Comey had a great day. Sessions dominates. Sessions had a bad day. I mean, these are anti-freedom creeps. They're such villains. I can't even believe it. I mean, mainstream media is so evil. It's an honor, Antonio, that you've been blackballed by Hollywood. That means you're a real American. We'll be back with the final segment with our guest. Wow, my head is spinning right now. We're about to post the video to Infowars.com. If you're a radio listener, want to see it, where CNN pushes the narrative. I mean, it was clearly someone they went to interview and then put him on and then didn't correct it and say, well, obviously, we don't think that shooting people and trying to kill them is just political and that the person wasn't evil. They're just pushing that the shooter wasn't evil. That's the new sickening, insane narrative. Just briefly, before we finish up with Antonio Sabato, Jr., and then David Knight's coming in, and we have William Binney, former technical leader of the NSA, joining us to talk about how they're using the NSA illegally against Americans, the Democrats and the globalists are, and against Trump. But before we go any further, please support the broadcast. I sell high-quality nutraceutical supplements that are the very best out there. High-quality non-fluoride toothpaste that's really good for your teeth. 10-to-1 organic essential oil mouthwash that's the very best out there. Those are 33% off as a combo pack together. We've got all sorts of great body armor. We've got InfoWars gift cards. Great way to get your family involved in the InfoWar and also support the broadcast. And we've got a lot of other specials. We've got a liver cleanse and oxy powder that flushes out your guts. Combo, that's discounted, 25% off. That's rarely discounted. And the big news, I've not even been plugging all day, we have free shipping store-wide running until the end of the month. We rarely do that. Free shipping store-wide. Sign up for auto ship. Get an additional 10% off everything. Then that way you can support us every month or every 2 months or every 3 months. You can cancel anytime. It's free. To sign up when you order for auto ship. Just go in with your code number and cancel anytime you want out of the auto ship, but that way you don't forget to support us. That is So critical. Brain Force has been sold out for a while. It's just a whole bunch of known herbs that, in a healthy way, boost brain capacity. It's got some stuff in it that's also prescription in Europe. But it's really great. Whenever I get really tired at 5 or 6, got to work till midnight, do a live broadcast or something, I end up taking a couple of those Brain Force. And it's got a whole bunch of reviews, 4,000 plus reviews. And it's got 4.6 stars on third-party sites. So Brain Force, the great nootropic, available at InfoWarsStore.com. And we're closing in to selling out of our Deep Earth iodine source X2, so be sure and check that out as well at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. But whatever you do, pray for people like Antonio. Pray for people like President Trump. Quite frankly, I'm a little selfish here. Pray for me, because they've really done some stuff to me. And I'm not complaining. It's the animating contest of liberty. But understand, this is a war, and your support and your prayers are critical. Antonio, please join us with updates every month or every few weeks, whenever you want to join us. If you come to Austin, we'd love to have you on, or I send reporters out. I'd love for them to interview you. In the last few minutes, we've got closing comments.
Well, my friend, listen, we want to get back at the liberal and the liberal media. I tell everyone out there who's a producer or writer or anybody in my business, hire me. Put me in front of everything. Hire me for anything, because that's the best way you get back at these people. I'm not asking you to give me a job. I'm just asking to fight with me. And the best way to fight with these people is to put me on the TV shows, put me on everything, so we can get back at these people, because they think they're winning. But we're going to win at the end. Whether it's, I'm going to keep being an actor, I'm going to keep being in the business, and I'm also running for Congress, and I'm going to get this seat, and I'm going to fight for the American people, my friend, no matter what.
You know, they say Hollywood's really scared, though, because they're losing control. And what I've heard is most people aren't even conservative or liberal. They're libertarian, and everybody's sick of being forced to be really outrageously liberal. Is that what you've seen?
I've seen that, man, my friend. I've never seen anything like this as long as I lived in this country since the mid-'80s. This is completely berserk. I mean, it's a different world. It's a different country. I've never expected it to be like this. But, you know, if you don't agree with them, you're out of it. And then they spread lies on top of it, and they call you names, and so we got to fight for that, because we need to have our country intact.
All right, well, thanks for coming on. VoteAntonio.com. Antonio Sabato, Jr., running for Congress in California. Get behind him, or you're helping the enemy. All right, thank you so much, sir. All right, hour number 3 straight ahead. Stay with us. We've got William Benny and more.
Thank you for listening to GCN.
Spread the word. They don't want you spreading that link.
GCN
we can defeat them
today.